Her message came at 11:14 p.m. "Where did you go? Come back. Don't make a scene." I stared at the screen from the backseat of my car, the wedding hall light spilling across the windshield like a mockery. My tie was still crooked from when I walked out. My pulse hadn't slowed. My jaw still ached from clenching. Her perfume lingered on my shirt. His cologne lingered on her dress. I could still hear the DJ pretending not to notice. I could still see her sister's husband whispering something to his friends while they laughed into their drinks. And I could still feel the moment the room went quiet, just for 1 second, when her father locked eyes with me across the dance floor. The shame on his face told me everything. He knew. They all knew. I didn't give them the satisfaction of watching me break. I didn't grab her. I didn't shout. I didn't drag her away while she ground herself against her ex like I was some invisible guest at her sister's wedding. No, I just walked out, calmly, quietly, like a man checking out of his own life. My phone buzzed again. "Please, just come inside. I'll explain." Explain what? Gravity felt heavier that night, or maybe it was just the truth finally catching up. I exhaled slowly, collected, cold, and I waited, because sometimes silence speaks louder than screaming. It started earlier that day, long before the dance floor humiliation. A look, too quick, too familiar. Her ex had shown up unexpectedly. She called it coincidence. I called it choreography. He kept hovering around her, and she kept pretending not to notice, while noticing everything. A hand brushing her lower back, a laugh that wasn't hers, a whisper exchanged when they thought I wasn't looking. But the moment that told me I was just a placeholder was smaller, quieter. She was adjusting her bracelet in the mirror, her sister helping her apply lipstick, and her ex passing by in the doorway. For half a second, her breath hitched. Not for me, for him. I saw it in the reflection, her eyes following him like a memory she still wasn't done reliving. I tried to bury the suspicion. Weddings make people nostalgic, right? Old flames, old mistakes, it happens. But the truth doesn't hide well, not when the entire room carries it in their glances. Her father barely met my eyes all evening. Her mother avoided me completely. Her sister smiled too sweetly, like someone who already knew the ending. And she kept squeezing my hand harder than usual. A guilty grip, an apology disguised as affection. I tried to tell myself I was imagining things, that marriage is built on trust, not paranoia, that one look doesn't mean betrayal. But intuition never lies. It whispers before the world screams. Then the DJ called couples to the dance floor. The lights dimmed, and everything I suspected became truth in motion. She didn't walk with me. She walked to him. And when she finally looked back at me across the room, it wasn't shame in her eyes. It was defiance. After I left the hall, I didn't drive away. I sat in the dark and thought. Not about her grinding on him, not about the room watching, not about her mouthing "relax" at me like I was the problem. No, I thought about patterns. Her late nights, her sudden interest in reconnecting with old friends, the new password on her phone, the secret smiles at messages she claimed were from coworkers. I realized then that I'd been patient, too patient, loyal to a fault, blind by choice. But blindness ends when humiliation begins. So I started connecting dots. I opened the tracking software she didn't know I installed months ago, not to spy, but to protect her when she worked late. Funny how protection becomes revelation. Her location history lined up with his neighborhood more than once. Hotel receipts I never questioned. Cash withdrawals she said for groceries. The sudden insistence that we needed space. Every memory rearranged itself into a confession without words. And I stayed quiet, because sometimes silence is the sharpest weapon. While messages from her kept pouring in, I checked bank statements, rideshare logs, old photos backed up automatically. Everything was there. Everything except her honesty. At 12:03 a.m., she called. I let it ring. Then again. Then again. By the fourth call, her voice cracked in the voicemail. "Please, just talk to me. You're scaring me." Interesting. Now she was scared. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even hurt. I was calculating. I wanted the truth in her voice, not in her excuses, not in her tears, but in the silence that comes after someone realizes they've lost the power they once had. And when the evidence finished sinking, when the timeline aligned perfectly, I finally drove back, not to return, to end it. I found her outside the hall, still in her bridesmaid dress, makeup streaked, hair undone from the dance she should have never taken. She ran toward me. I didn't move. "Where were you?" she begged, grabbing my arm. "Why are you acting like this?" I handed her my phone. The screen showed her location history, her hotel stays, her messages to him from months ago, her entire secret life condensed into a simple, silent truth. She stared at it like it was a foreign language. Then her lips trembled and her knees weakened. I can explain." I shook my head once. No. This was her moment, not mine. She scrolled through the evidence while her face crumbled. Every tap was another lie turning to ash. Finally, she whispered, "You weren't supposed to see this." The honesty in that sentence was the cruelest part. Not regret, not apology, just fear of exposure. Her father stepped out of the hall, saw the phone in her hand, and closed his eyes like a man witnessing a disaster he predicted. Her voice broke. "Just say something, please." So I did. 2 words. Not surprised. Her sobbing shattered the night. My silence held it together. I didn't shout. I didn't demand explanations. I didn't ask why or how long. I simply placed the ring in her palm, cold metal against shaking skin. "You chose him," I said. "Now live with it." She clutched the ring like it burned. "No, please, don't do this. It was a mistake. I love you. I love—" "Save it." Her father stepped closer, guilt crawling across his face. "I tried to warn her," he murmured. "I know." That was the real punishment for her. Knowing I wasn't blindsided, knowing I'd already pieced everything together, knowing I'd walked away on my terms, not hers. "Let's go home," she pleaded. "There is no home," I replied softly. "Not anymore." The calmness in my voice destroyed her more than rage ever could. She dropped to her knees on the pavement. I walked past her. I didn't look back. The night air felt lighter when I reached my car. Not peaceful, not victorious, just honest. For the first time in months, my mind wasn't running circles around her lies. There was no more wondering, no more doubting, no more trying to fix something that was already rotting beneath the surface. The truth had finally stepped into the light. And I didn't owe her anything, not anger, not forgiveness, not closure. Some betrayals don't need confrontation. They expose themselves. As I drove away, her calls kept coming. Voicemail after voicemail, pleas, screams, promises. I lowered the volume. Silence suited me better. When the wedding hall disappeared in the rearview mirror, so did the version of me who tolerated emotional crumbs and called it love. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't broken, just done. Completely. And in the quiet hum of the road ahead, I realized something simple, brutal, and final. Sometimes the most devastating revenge is leaving nothing of yourself behind.